All right, Rickey on the morning show. Hey, good morning, Eva.
Good morning, Rickey. Good morning, everyone, and happy, beautiful Thursday. Here's a quick look at your front page news. So some more of the same coronavirus cases continue to rise across the U.S. California, Arizona, Texas, and Florida broke more records on the number of cases and deaths yesterday. Face masks are now required in Alabama, but the governor of Georgia has banned cities and counties from requiring face masks in public. Meanwhile, Republican Governor Kevin Stitt of Oklahoma announced that he does have COVID-19. He's the first governor to get the virus and one of the most aggressive reopening plans in the country. Now, in other news, Walmart, Kohl's, and Kroger stores will now require all customers must wear face masks. Meanwhile, the family of George Floyd has filed a civil rights lawsuit against the city of Minneapolis and the 4 officers charged in his death. And last, your prayers worked. That's right. After being treated for an infection, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, the justice, has been released from the hospital yesterday and is back home resting safely. Thank God. That was a quick look at your headline news. Rock Teasy Fo She Said. What you got in sports, brother?
My kneesy. The Dallas Cowboys and quarterback Dak Prescott cannot agree on a long-term deal before yesterday's deadline. He will play under the franchise tag this year in 2020. He will make $31.4 million, which is still not bad, of course. Word is he turned down a multi-year deal that would have paid him between $33 and $35 million per year, with over $100 million guaranteed, but Prescott wanted fewer years. Tennessee Titans and their star running back Derrick Henry, they do agree on a 4-year extension worth $50 million. $25 million of that will be guaranteed. And if y'all don't know, he led the NFL in rushing last year, so big up for Big Henry right there. Last but not least, 54-year-old boxing legend Iron Mike Tyson is teaming up with the Discovery Channel for an August 9th special called Tyson vs. Jaws for Shark Week. That should be interesting, man.
Oh, wow.
It is. Get ready, man. It's going down real big. What's up there, Gary?
All right, y'all. Kelly Rowland is still running her mouth, honey. I said something's going down with her and Beyonce, honey, because Kelly's still talking. We talked about this on Dish Nation recently, and honey, a lot of people saying something is going down with these girls. But now Kelly's saying she's recounting y'all her experiences, y'all, in Destiny's Child and being with a girl group like Beyonce. She said she would torture herself in her head. She said, like, I can't wear this dress because they're going to say, like, oh, it's like B, or I can't have a song like that because it sounds too much like B. She said they're going to compare me anyway. She said she couldn't take it, you know, and she said she understands why a lot of people in groups or whatever being compared to one another, and it's not a good look, and she felt real bad about that. So my thing is, I'm wondering if she's going to file a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against Beyonce because they really kind of programmed her, and she's just not feeling good. She's talking about it.
Pretty sure that's not gonna happen.
Why would they
She could sue him.
Get counseling, Gary, but a lawsuit would mean that someone did something criminal.
She said it was a whole decade, honey. Should I be lying, honey, and said no if it's never bothered me? She said that's bull. So we gonna see, honey, because I feel bad for Kelly. It's almost like, comedians being compared to one another. I mean, it's like almost like comedian Special K being compared to Rickey. It'll never happen. You know, so I'm
don't
just
do
saying.
that.
I'm just saying.
Don't do that.
My self-esteem low enough as it is. Don't do that.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna file a lawsuit against your ass.
Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot.
So hot
Catch me at the hot spot. It's the BRAT.
All right, Rickey on the morning show. Got the hot spot right here with the Brat. Good morning.
Good morning, Rickey. Good morning, everybody. I'm your girl, Brett Tat, and this is the Hot Spot where we bring you music, movies, and more. All right, y'all, let's get off into this thing. Meg Thee Stallion has broken her silence on the incident that occurred this past weekend in the Hollywood Hills. Now, as previously reported by TMZ, Tory Lanez was arrested on Sunday after the cops received disturbance accidents. Well, when cops arrived, some people were arguing in the SUV and multiple shots were fired in the air, and then the car took off. Well, the cops tracked down the car. They detained Megan, Tory, and another woman, and Tory was taken in and arrested after the gun was found in his car, and it was said that Megan had cut her foot on some glass and had to be rushed to the hospital. Well, Megan took to Instagram to set the record straight on the incident, saying that she was the person who was shot. She said the narrative that is being reported about Sunday morning events are inaccurate, and I'd like to set the record record straight. On Sunday morning, I suffered gunshot wounds as a result of a crime that was committed against me and done with the intention to physically harm me. She said, I was never arrested. The police drove me to the hospital where I underwent surgery to remove the bullets. I'm incredibly grateful to be alive and that I'm expected to make a full recovery, but it was important for me to clarify the details about this traumatic night. She said, I'm currently focused on my recovery so I can return back to my life and to making music as soon as possible. This whole experience was an eye-opener and a blessing in disguise. I hate that it took this experience for me to learn how to protect my energy. Woo! Lord have mercy, they got it all wrong when they said that. So
yeah, they did.
I'm glad she okay. All right, moving on real quick, y'all. They saying, did Kanye drop out of the 2020 presidential race? Lord have mercy, it's looking like he didn't, because the individual named Andre Bodyford filed Form 1 Statement of Organization with the Federal Election Commission on yesterday, which established a principal campaign committee for Kanye West. The document listed the music and fashion as a birthday party candidate for November's election and named Bodyford as the campaign custodian of records and treasurer. Later, the Oklahoma State Election Board confirmed that West had secured a spot on the state's general election ballot. Now, Rep for Kanye told people that he submitted the state of candidacy.
That's it.
Okay, and paid the $35,000 filing fee to run as an independent candidate.
Why is he doing it? Did Trump tell him to do that to split up the votes? Because ain't no Trump supporter gonna vote him. So if anybody vote for him, it's gonna be somebody from the left, and
Very
it's gonna
good possibility. Yeah. Good possibility.
I believe that.
I wish they would figure out what they
man.
gonna do. Is he not, or is he is, or is he ain't? You know what I'm saying? It's getting on my nerves. I'm so tired of all this stuff with him. Like, I thought he was having issues with his mental capacity, and he probably needed to drop out for that reason. And they was just saying this other stuff to, I don't know what's going on with Kanye. I just keep y'all posted on everything I find out in the hot spot.
You liar! I believe him, yo. I don't know why, but I do.
All right, Rickey Smiley Morning Show. Hey, it's about that time. Special K got news you positively absolutely cannot use. Good morning.
Let's get into it. We got the news you absolutely cannot use from the future, from the year 2045. Former radio sports guy, let's get into it. Former radio sports guy, Rock T, who in the year 2036 won the Nobel Prize for being the happiest man in North America. He celebrated his 41st wedding anniversary with beautiful wife, Crystal. They stunned the crowd by stepping out with a cape and dropping it to reveal they'd had surgery to make them into Siamese twins and were now literally joined at the hip. Former morning show co-host Eva Marcel Pigford Sterling celebrated her 20th anniversary as lead host of The View, pulling off a huge ratings win by giving birth to her 17th baby live on the air. As her husband, Mike, now 75, sat sobbing quietly off stage as he realized he would never experience life without car seats. Legendary rapper Da Brat made news. This is in the year 2045 at the 60th annual So Def reunion concert. Brat, now 78 but still going hard, was slightly injured when she lost control of her rabbit scooter in the middle of performing Funkified, colliding with now 84-year-old So Def boss Jermaine Dupri, who was using the walker on the stage, sending them both crashing off stage into the orchestra pit. Gary with the T.
Wow.
Brett.
Gary with the T, former entertainment reporter and Dish Nation host, now 91, was captured on video by TMZ for the third time in a week, wandering around in front of the state hospital he was committed to back in the 2030s, wearing nothing but a short t-shirt and bedroom slippers, yelling incoherent slander about Beyonce and Kim Kardashian. And finally, former morning show host Rickey Smiley, who had retired from radio in the year 2035 to take over the head pastor duties at Friendship West Baptist Church, is now enjoying life at age 78 with his loving wife of 28 years, whom he married after making her famous on his radio show back in the year 2020. And just who ended up becoming Mrs. Smiley?
When we get over here, get somewhere and sit down. Don't talk to me. Don't look at me. Don't think about me, because I'm grown. I'm going to be with the grown folks. You go be with the kids. Understand this. When I say it's time to go, It's time to go. Don't ask, can you stay the night? You cannot. Don't ask, can they come back over here and stay the night? They cannot. Don't get over here acting like you hungry, like you ain't ate all day. If you do, I'm gonna knock fire out of your throat. Don't touch nothing. Don't break nothing. Don't ask for nothing to drink. Don't ask for nothing to eat. Lisa Ann already think her kids is better than everybody else, and they are not. If one of them touch you, you better knock their head off their shoulder. Don't come in there tattling to me about what you think, what you want, and how you feel. When we get ready to go, I tell you how you feel. Is everybody on the same page?
Yes, sir.
Don't play with me. Y'all ready to go? Don't. Okay, let's go.
Congratulations to the loving couple.
Wow, and that's what I'm married.
Yeah, that's
wow.
what I'm married.
Wow.
And we never found out her name.
Never. And how old would those kids be who she was fussing at?
Oh, they all grown now. Y'all got grandkids. They all grew up with Grayson.
Hold it. He's half man, half woman. It's Gary. I wanna hip you to the T. It's Gary, baby.
All right, Rick's Smiley Morning Show, 3 minutes after the hour. Gary has the tea and the clue today. What up, Gary?
Good morning, Ricky. Good morning, America. Good morning to you. It's Thursday, a beautiful day in the neighborhood. And here's what's happening in celebrity news, y'all. Wendy Williams, honey, my Judy, Miss Wendy Williams, y'all, she announced, honey, that she's going to be returning to her daytime talk show, her show soon. Now, she didn't announce the exact date, y'all, but she said she had to take a break because, you know, we all went through the break deal with the corona situation or whatever. But she said, quote, it's a hard time for all of us. She said, but we're all in this together. And she said, corona is on the rise. She said, but I want to shout out to all the peaceful protesters. She said, she also want to thank everybody for giving her love, honey, and can't wait for her to come back to TV. Which, you know what, it's sad, though, but I still watch the reruns. Every day I watch her reruns, honey, hoping that one of them might just pop in and be a current show. But they haven't been current, but still the reruns are good to watch. So congratulations to Wendy Williams, and we can't wait, y'all, for Miss Williams to come back. They say she's coming back with a whole new look and everything. So some people saying she may be wearing an afro. So I don't know, but I can't wait to see her. All right. Moving on in other celebrity news, y'all.
That show.
Huh?
I said you live by that show.
I just love it. I don't know. I just love it. I like Wendy. So, you know, honey, I can't wait for the return. All right. In other celebrity news, y'all know we've been talking about Will and Jada Pinkett Smith, y'all, honey, all this week and what have you. But, you know, more stuff is coming out. Now, they're claiming, y'all, now, according to people, y'all, the source claims, y'all, that problems, y'all, were made more worse because of their fame, honey. They say Will definitely felt more pressure, y'all, to make their marriage work. And, you know, a lot of people saying that Will really, really was hurt by it because, you know, we talked about it when you watched him and, you know, it looked like he was crying and what have you and stuff like that. But I didn't realize he really wanted the marriage to work that bad. I mean, if he allegedly had an affair himself, why would he be crying so much and want that marriage to work when he just almost like threw his wife out there and told her, go get you somebody else, because he did say he didn't want her. So, you know, it's interesting to me, but nevertheless, they're still together as of right now, today, as we speak, honey, and they're supposed to be vacationing. And, you know, we're going to see how this all turn out. But like I said, a lot of people now are excited and using the new word entanglement now. So more women are entangling now, which is a good thing. So congratulations to all the entanglers and what have you. So,
and when two people entangle, they have a baby. The baby is called a knot.
Oh, all right. You paid for that one, honey. All right. Now,
that's what's come from entanglement. Little knots.
All
right.
Right.
A lot of knots next year. In 9 months from now, a lot of knots.
Well, speaking of knots, y'all, let's continue to pray, y'all, for Snoop Dogg and his beautiful wife, Miss Shantae Broders, y'all. Snoop, honey, is being reported, y'all, that he's apologizing to his wife for having sex with a lame-side woman, and that's not what he called it. Now, they're saying, honey, a woman by the name of Miss Celine Powell, she claimed, y'all, that she slept, honey, with the West Coast legend. She said, you know, and he said, I'm tired of saying I'm sorry for the same mess, y'all. He said he nearly lost his queen or whatever for messing with a lame woman, and he went on and on to the break of dawn, y'all, and people saying, okay, but she said, you know, in the tweet that her and Snoop had sex to his gospel album. Now, they're saying that Snoop did not publicly deny the claims, and, you know, what you say, Ricky?
No way.
Yeah.
No way. The one with him and what's the gospel singer? Rance Allen? They're together.
I don't know, but
the new one, yeah, he only has one gospel album he just dropped last year.
Yeah.
Oh man.
See, maybe it was just the one song. Maybe it wasn't the whole album.
But you know, sometimes those gospel songs be sounding like love songs.
Yeah, Alone in the Room, Yolanda Adams. They played that at the club one night. Folks were drinking wine and smoking Black and Miles and slow dancing to Yolanda Adams. You know?
Yeah, it happens.
So,
But I mean, come on, y'all. I mean, you apologizing again to your wife, honey, behind this mess, and then this heifer here talking about, honey, and tweeting it, letting her know what song they had sex with, because it wouldn't make it love, I don't gather.
Wow.
And so that's just too much. It's just too much, though, honey. I see why Jada did what she did. She needs to hurry and write her book, honey, for all these girls to get a copy of it, so they don't have to worry about going through this here mess like poor Miss Shantae is allegedly going through right now, getting tweets and stuff.
I'm sure Shantae is all right.
Well, yeah, I'm sure she's all right, but hell, with Celine Power, honey, talking about, I made love to your husband on this gospel album. No.
She married to a rapper. She know that come with the game.
So that damn make it right? Hell, a lot of women married to pastors, honey. They still do it, don't make it right.
Right.
That's part of the
pastors
game.
don't cheat.
Get over it.
They don't?
Not all men cheat. Don't do that.
Well, I'm going to say 99.9 of them do.
But all rappers do. Come on now. It's a requirement.
What could it matter what comedians
Yeah, give us some
do
tea,
then?
man.
Yeah,
Come on.
About comedians, yeah, what they do.
What's your color?
The color today, honey, yeah, because this just didn't vex my nerves. The color today, honey, is one of my favorite colors. My color today is cobalt. Cobalt. On the high end, you say cobalt. On the low end, you say beautiful blue. Yeah, that's your color for today.
Y'all give it up for Gary with the tea.
Hold it. He's half man, half woman. It's Gary. I wanna hip you to the T. It's Gary, baby.
All right, y'all, Rick Smiley Morning Show.
Good morning, Ricky. Good morning, America. Good morning to you. It's Thursday, a beautiful day in the neighborhood, and here's what's happening in celebrity news, y'all. Real Housewives of Atlanta star Portia Williams, y'all, opened up about being arrested, y'all, at the Breonna Taylor protest outside of the Attorney General Daniel Cameron's home in Louisville, Kentucky on Tuesday, y'all. Now, according to TMZ, y'all, all of the ladies, honey, were released. Now, there were more protesters that was still in custody at present time. Now, they're saying the ladies also can't believe, y'all, that they were booked on a felony charge of intimidating a participant in a legal process. Now, Portia wrote on her Instagram page, she said, "Wow, at Daniel J. Cameron, you really took the time to upgrade 1 out of 3 of our charges to felony. This is disgusting. Meanwhile, not one peep, y'all, about this botched investigation of Breonna Taylor's was not one arrest of the cops. Instead, you celebrate with your bride and give them active desk duty to keep these killers protected. You can't possibly think that this is okay." And she also went on to say that sure create the possibility for peaceful protesters to get locked up for 1 to 5 years, but absolutely no accountability for your officers. This is sad. She said, this is the world that we live in. She said, it simply don't kill us as we sleep in our homes. Don't kill us sleeping in our cars. Don't kill us for walking to a store, and don't kill our spirits and further oppress us when we stand up to say that you're wrong. Hashtag justice for all. Hashtag justice for Breonna Taylor. That was from Portia.
Okay.
Now, my thing was, honey, I mean, they lucky, honey, he didn't let Elizabeth go out there and have words for them, honey, because they was on her yard, because, you know, his wife, Elizabeth, honey, you know, they say she was a mean woman once upon a time. You know, she was a European woman, but, you know, when you go to somebody's house, honey, they say you going to fight. So, I don't know, good thing that they only, you know, got arrested, honey, no fights went down or whatever, but my thing is a felony charge. Now, once you get a felony, that don't come off your record, right? You can't even get a job.
Well, you can. You can get it expunged. Yes, you can.
You gotta work through it.
You have to work through it and go through the courts to get it done.
What Portia was saying in that made so much sense, saying that, you know, upgrading these charges to a felony is setting a precedent.
Even is Mike at home?
You already know. Oh, no. He went to go take the kids to school. He's out.
Damn, I was going to tell you to call him in there right quick.
Yeah, but see, it sets a precedent, like she was saying, Ricky, you know, once you charge them with a felony, that sets a precedent for other peaceful protests, and now allowing them to get those same type of charges from 1 to 5 years in jail. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy.
Oh, man, well, we're going to follow that story then.
Well, it is what it is, and a lot more going to be going to jail, you know.
Arrest the cops. Arrest the cops that did that.
Right.
But why isn't he arresting them? I mean, he's the attorney general.
Well, what he said in a statement yesterday is that he is still in the midst of his investigation. He's not finished with it yet. They're still trying to do a thorough investigation, which is why no one has been arrested.
Okay, but if that was somebody black, they would have been gone to jail. They don't investigate. They put us in jail first, and then they investigate. So what do you mean? What's taking so long? This black girl was in her house, in the bed, asleep, and the police officers go in there and kill her. What is there to investigate?
Yes.
And the boyfriend went to jail. They figured out how to take him to jail immediately.
Right.
So,
well,
shout out to Portia Williams and all of those that are doing peaceful protests out there.
You want a couple of things to investigate?
Breonna Taylor.
Breonna Taylor.
Stop.
And you don't want to investigate those
people like that.
I know. Rick talking about investigate these. Let me get
right. Put those up. It's too early.
I had to start hitting the beep.
We need to pray for those. But anyway, all right, moving on. In other celebrity news, y'all, T.I. honey to Tiny on her birthday, y'all, honey. He said, "May nothing, y'all, interrupt this lifetime entanglement, y'all." Now, rapper and business mogul T.I., he penned a sweet message to his lovely wife, y'all, of nearly 10 years, Tiny. And, you know, he put something down, and it's so touching. I'm going to read a little bit of it. He said, "Sending love and light to my queen on this glorious day of life. May nothing bring you down. We walked through the fire and roasted marshmallow browns, honey." He said, "We got it out the mud, but it's still shining bright as they come." He said, now they were celebrating her 10-year wedding anniversary on July the 30th. And he said, 20 years ago, we met at the mall. We were told, and you told me, honey, I was too young. So we smoked, got high together, and never came back. We share memories, y'all, that can never be replaced. A bond that nothing can break. 20 years time on July the 14th. Then he also said, this is real touching. We have found so many different ways to celebrate you and your magnificent existence, and this one shall be no different. Make nothing hurtful, harmful, or dangerous interrupt this lifetime entanglement. And he put a little emoji there, y'all, and stuff. And he said he woke up, y'all, this morning on a beautiful island next to you. He said, and totally forgot about the view. He said, they told me, y'all, that I can't have no more guns. And I promise I tried. He said, but now I got a brand new 45 next to me on my side. Happy G-Day, honey, Miss H. Honey. Oh, that was so touching.
Yes, come on with the lyrics.
Cute.
Yes, he put some thought into that. Yes.
So touching. She's a 45. I didn't know she was older than him.
Yes, come on, 45.
She look, black don't crack, so she look good.
She does.
You wouldn't know unless you knew.
Yep. So happy birthday, y'all. All right, the color today is one of my. Ricky, you got something to say?
No, I'm with it. I'm rocking with it. I already spoke my little piece about. I'm still mad about Breonna Taylor.
Yeah, don't go ahead, Gary.
No, once I get my attitude, I'll be in my little feelings. So I'm gonna have to sit and let this thing rest.
Yes. The color today, y'all, is cobalt. On the high end, you say cobalt. On the low end, you say beautiful blue. That's your color for today.
The Rickey Smiley Morning Show.
It's the front page news.
It's what's trending now.
All right, y'all, Rickey Smiley Morning Show. Listen, y'all know it's been 4 months, and we are still waiting for the arrest of the white police officers who broke into Breonna Taylor's Louisville apartment and killed her, shot her down 8 times, shot her down like her life didn't matter. In the meantime, 87 peaceful protesters, they were arrested on felony charges after a sit-in on the lawn of Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron. So please help me welcome to the show federal civil rights attorney Lee Merritt, and he has worked with the families of Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, and Botham Jean. Is now in Louisville representing some of Tuesday's protesters. Good morning, Mr. Lee.
Good morning, brother. How are you?
Hey, man, I'm good, man. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, man. Thank you for always jumping on with us. Now, we understand that it took more than 24 hours for all of the protesters to be released from jail. Like, why is that? Is that because they weren't in the system? And then what happens next?
It seemed to me that the authorities, particularly the mayor's office, the police department, who were responsible for processing the demonstrators out, purposely drugged their feet. There was no reason for people to be in there for 24 hours, especially when I know that the judge had actually signed a release for most of the protesters to be released on their own recognizance the night before. And so, obviously, even with the felony charges, they were playing some politics there to try to intimidate righteous protesters.
Yeah, speaking of the felony.
Go ahead.
Speaking of the felony charges, how did we get there? Usually, like you said, they're let out on their own recognizance. So for them to get their charges upgraded to a felony, how did that happen and what does that mean?
Well, I believe what you see in this nepotism. Daniel Cameron is the lead law enforcement officer. He's the top cop in Kentucky. Now, he claims that some other cops came up with this idea, but I've never seen protesters be charged with a felony for peaceful protesting. In fact, just 2 days prior, the other folks, the Second Amenders and the people who want to strip women of their rights were protesting in front of the governor's mansion. And they hung an effigy of the governor in front of his home. And nobody was even cited with anything, let alone a felony. And so, we see what's happening here, but they want to play dumb.
Yeah. And go ahead.
I'm sorry. Tamika Mallory is the co-founder of the organization Until Freedom, who organized the protest. Now, can you explain how they organized bailing everybody out? That had to be tough.
Yeah, so Tamika Mallory put together an excellent team of volunteers. Until Freedom is a group that plans not only this action, but plans further actions at that same location in the future. And so it's clear, number one, that they're trying to intimidate Ms. Mallory out of that. However, Ms. Mallory works with my group. I'm the legal director for a program called the Grassroots Law Project, and we just provide support to people like Ms. Tamika Mallory. We bring our attorneys, we bring legal observers, we record the incident, and so everyone now knows that there was no felonies that took place at Mr. Cameron's home. And then our attorneys worked through the night. We knew everybody who went in there. We had them all down by name. We planned for them to be arrested because we know that this criminal justice system only knows brutalization and incarceration. So we anticipated that. And so the only thing that caught us honestly off guard were the felony charges, but we don't put anything beyond the system.
Do that go to a jury trial?
It hypothetically would. I think they're smart enough to drop the charges because we have better attorneys than they do.
Yes.
And so if they want to take it to trial and clog up their legal system even further, that's already clogged due to the coronavirus and the so-called war on drugs, then we can, but we win the trials and they look ridiculous. I think that they are setting themselves up for a claim of prosecutorial misconduct because you can't just simply charge people with felonies in order to stop their free speech or to intimidate them.
Brother Mary, when is this Attorney General and anybody that is responsible for not arresting those officers, how many people are elected officials, and when are they going to be on this election cycle, or he has 2 more years in office?
Daniel Cameron has about 4 more years. He assumed office. That's the Attorney General for Kentucky. He assumed office in December of 2019. He took over this case in May. So the people of Kentucky elect this specific person as the person responsible for enforcing the law. I suspect, honestly, to tell you the truth, I suspect that he's going to bring charges in this case. He's going to need constant reminding about how the law works. He doesn't seem like to be the sharpest tool in the shed. For example, he's a Trump supporter, so if that might tell you as much as you need to know about him.
Okay.
But yeah.
Lee, if you were the Attorney General, what would you charge? And from what you know and what you see, what would you have charged?
Well, what you saw here was a botched, mission in the war on drugs. So you have people who misuse information in order to get a false warrant. They should be charged with any number of felonies, including perjury for lying on the affidavit that created this dangerous situation. But the men who pulled the trigger are still responsible. They have the responsibility of executing this warrant in a way that would preserve life. And they went in there recklessly, based on, sort of half-cocked based on false information that they never bothered to confirm. And so those men should be charged with some form of homicide. It could be second degree, it could be third degree. The truth is that's going to change in Kentucky versus where I practice in Pennsylvania and New Jersey. But that's certainly something that the AG should be considering. What form of homicide does each person who was involved in this murder should be facing?
So, Attorney Mary, with all this being said, how can we help?
Right now, I think it's keeping pressure on the elected officials. I think we should be showing back up to that neighborhood, to his office, hounding him to do his job. That's how democracy works. We have the right to petition our elected officials. So the people of Kentucky, with the support of everyone around the world, should continue to remind Daniel Cameron to do his job. They should call for his removal or for his resignation if he refuses to do it, because this is the absolute height of his responsibility. An EMT worker was murdered during a pandemic. And so we demand justice right now. If you can't do it, get out of the way and find someone else who can. The people should be also petitioning the Department of Justice, which is the federal oversight for when.
Yeah, they ain't gonna do nothing.
Well, you could say they ain't gonna do nothing, but they are doing something in Ahmaud Arbery's case. There's 3 arrests in Ahmaud Arbery's case that was directed by the FBI, and so. I'm going to go to whoever we can get results from. If they fail to do their job, then we're going to hold them accountable as well.
Hey, Lee Merritt, anything I can do to help you, and whenever you need to jump on to talk about whatever, and wherever we need to be, whatever we need to do, whatever you need personally, you and Tamika, y'all call us. We here. That's what we here. We're going to use this platform to keep attention on this case.
I fully appreciate it. And this is exactly what we need right here. It's pressure season. So we just need to keep the pressure on. Your show is listened to, nationally syndicated, listened to around the world, and people need to understand the facts. They need to engage in the details and figure out how they can get involved. If you want to get involved in our efforts, you go to grassrootslaw.org. I encourage you to follow Tamika Mallory, Until Freedom, if you want to be an active protester, because we're going, unfortunately, Breonna Taylor is just one of many, many, many people unjustifiably killed by the police around the country, and we're fighting. This is the season where we're fighting back against all of that and demanding a different country.
Hey, man, ladies and gentlemen, Attorney Lee Merritt, man, thank you so much for your hard work in our communities, man. We appreciate you taking the time to join us, and please keep us updated, man. Thank you so much. Hey, Lee, hold on. I got to get your number.
Okay.
All right, y'all. Ladies and gentlemen, Lee Merritt, y'all. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, y'all. More Rick's About the Morning Show coming up. Hey, Rick's About the Morning Show. Hey, we got Jeff Johnson. Got 3 things you need to know. Good morning, Jeff.
Hey, good morning, family. What's happening? Man, Rick, I got 3 things for you.
All right.
Listen, in Louisville right now, there is something called the Government Oversight and Audit Committee. That's part of the Louisville Metro Council. They filed an order on Monday, Rick, to officially launch an investigation into the action and inaction of the mayor in Louisville as it related to the Breonna Taylor case and the death of David McAtee, as well as
Wait a minute. What you mean? Run that by me again?
Okay.
Who do you file this, Jeff?
So listen, there's a Government Oversight and Audit Committee that is part of the Louisville Metro Council, right? So this is an official government committee. They actually filed they said that they're launching an investigation into how the administration in Louisville has handled the Breonna Taylor case, the death of Brother McAtee, and the protest. And so the investigation hasn't started yet, but this committee has the ability to not only subpoena the former police department chief, the current chief. This really has the ability, if they're able to prove that there was misconduct or criminal activity, to actually remove the mayor. And so they are not only dealing with the actions that led to the no-knock warrant, they're also dealing with the fact that police used unnecessary force against peaceful protesters. So this could be really interesting. I don't remember the last time I saw an official government oversight committee actually do legitimate oversight in a situation like this. And so, again, the investigation hasn't started yet, but state law, Rick, gives the Metro Council the power to remove any Metro officer from office, and that includes the mayor, for misconduct or criminal activity. So we'll see what happens there. Second thing I got for you is, listen, y'all, Asheville, North Carolina voted unanimously to approve reparations on Tuesday night. And, Asheville is 83% white, 12% black. And they talked about this happening in forming policy to establish the creation of generational wealth and address reparations do in the black community. Now, there are no specifics here. So right now, a lot of people are saying the vote doesn't go far enough. It's not specific enough. It doesn't clearly state what is going to happen or where these investments will take place. But this is still more than I think we've seen anywhere before. And I think that there was a council member, Shanikia Smith, who said that there needs to be more specifics. We need to bring a red pen to the table and actually circle expenditures and really show how they related to the stated goals, which means where's the money actually going to show up and how is it going to make a difference. But again, Rick, this has not happened in any other city before. And I think there's been so much conversation about the possibility of reparations, what it looks like. You know, cats always want to get checks, and folks understand that that's not what this is always about. It's really about how do you begin to reverse some of the systemic issues, and that comes from institutions. So before I get out of here, Rick, listen, if you got kids, y'all, we need people really doing a serious mental health and behavioral health check on our babies. So many of our babies have been disconnected from friends. They haven't been in school. In many cases, unlikely that they're going back to school in the fall. And our kids are in a space. And so often in the name of us trying to make sure our jobs are stable, that we're good, that we have a level of stability for the family, we often aren't doing mental health checks on our babies. And I'm not even necessarily saying get them counseling unless they need it. I'm saying just check. Really pay attention to where your kids' emotions are. Find ways to have real conversations that sometimes you may not have with them to be able to make those checks, and find spaces and ways for them to have release, because our babies in some cases are dealing with stress that we don't understand and anxiety we don't understand. We got to be there for them in this time in a way that sometimes we haven't known how to be before. Rick, I got to get out of here. Those are 3 things I got for you. Y'all can hit me at Jeff's Nation on all social media. Love y'all. Have a good weekend, and I will talk to y'all next week.
Good morning, Ricky. Good morning, everyone, and happy Thursday. Here's a quick look at your front page news. So a heat wave is moving across the south and southwest. Temperatures are up, and so are coronavirus cases. California, Arizona, Texas, and Florida broke more records yesterday. Face masks are now required in Alabama, but the governor of Georgia has banned cities from requiring face masks in public, contradicting local efforts to slow the spread of the coronavirus. Also, Republican Governor Kevin Stitt of Oklahoma announced that he has COVID-19. He's the first governor on record to get the virus. And starting next week, Walmart, Kohl's, and Kroger stores will require that all customers wear face masks. Now, in other news, President Trump fired his campaign manager. A new polling shows that Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden with a double-digit lead. Y'all stay out there and stay at the polls. Newly released body cam video of George Floyd's initial arrest shows that the officers cursed at him and forcibly pulled him from his car while he sobbed and pleaded with them. The Floyd family has filed civil rights lawsuit against the city of Minneapolis. Also, a city council committee in Louisville, Kentucky is set to investigate the mayor's handling of Breonna Taylor's case and the protests that follow. And last, the city council of Asheville, North Carolina, voted to apologize for the city's historic role in slavery and provide reparation for its black residents. So what does that mean? Reparations will not be paid directly, but it will come in the form of direct investments into housing, businesses, and education to address disparities in the black community. Shout out to Asheville, North Carolina. That was a quick look at your headline news. For more on what's trending, please log on to the RickeySmileyMorningShow.com.